For this video, I'm gonna break down what I would do if I had to start over with only $10,000. Now, there's a bunch of different ways I can take this, a lot of different ways I can spin this. Thinking the most logically, thinking about the way where I can make the most amount of money with only $10,000, this is what I would do. Make sure you're taking notes. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Navy Federal. Why? Navy Federal has something called a pledge loan where I can borrow against my own money to build my credit. What do I mean? Right? So with this pledge loan, let's say I have $10,000. I'm going to take half of that, $5,000, and I'm going to put it into this, what's called a pledge loan. And what they're going to do is they're going to make it look like I took a $5,000 loan, but in reality, I'm just putting my money down in order to build my credit history. So that they're going to take my $5,000. They're going to say I took out a loan for $5,000. That money, they're going to deposit that $5,000 directly back into my bank account. And then I'm going to pay back this $5,000 that I borrowed against. And then at the end, once I pay the $5,000, that's my own money, they give me most of my money back, right? So I'm probably gonna spend $250 out of the $5,000. I'll probably get back, $4,700, $4,750 or something like that, right? So I'm gonna take this money and this is gonna get my name into the Navy Federal system. And then this is also gonna allow me to get credit cards with Navy Federal later down the line. So I'm gonna take this 10,000, 5,000 or half of it is gonna go inside of this pledge loan. I'm gonna pay back most of this pledge loan, not all of it, I'm gonna pay back most of it. And that's gonna get my name in the system. That's gonna report a $5,000 loan on my report. That's gonna already build positive history for me. What I'm gonna do is after I've been making payments on this loan and I built up that payment history, I'm not gonna pay off the entire thing. I'm gonna pay off most of it. I have good history within, Navy Federal system. They seen I took out a $5,000 loan. I paid almost everything off. I'm gonna apply for the Navy Federal Signature Visa. The Signature Visa card usually is gonna give you the highest limit out of any card that Navy Federal offers, right? So now not only did I build history using my own money and I ain't spend a dime, right? Because I borrowed against my own money, which I received back. I'm gonna also now apply for a Visa signature with Navy Federal. The chances of approval are a lot higher. I have great payment history with Navy Federal, right? My name's already in their system. We already have that relationship. We've done business. They can trust me. I'm going to get a higher limit. With credit unions, as you guys know, you're gonna get the best interest rates. You're gonna get the highest limit. They're probably gonna give me access to $30,000, $25,000 on my personal report, right? That I got just because I borrowed against my own money. So now on my credit report, it's looking pretty nice. I have a good big card on there with a good limit, right? I have a loan on there with a good amount with great payment history. Now what I'll do is I'm gonna add on a couple credit builders on my report. I'm gonna season these accounts for the next 3 to 4 months. I haven't spent a dime yet because I borrowed against my own money in order to get this loan, right? And I received that money back. So I haven't used any of my money yet. I have all the money in my account right now. What I'm gonna do is then, right, I'm gonna season these accounts and I'm gonna go submit myself for funding. I'm gonna go to Chase Bank. I'm gonna submit an application. I'm gonna try to get at least $50,000 in funding. And the reason I can do it is because I have the leverage. When you look at my personal report, I have great payment history. I have great credit mix. I have loans. I have personal credit cards with high limits. We're talking about 25,000, 20,000, right? As you guys know, Navy Federal is not going to give you nothing light, right? If you're already in their system, you have a $5,000 pledge loan, you're going to get a personal bag from Navy Federal. You can get 25,000, 30,000. So I have a great credit report. I have leverage. I have comparable credit. I'm going to go to Chase, right? With my 730 credit score, 740 credit score, whatever the score is at that time, my accounts are already aged. I have great credit mix. I'm gonna apply for $50,000 in funding at 0% interest. I'm gonna use this funding and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna invest it into a cash flowing asset. I'm gonna liquidate my funds. I'm gonna take the $50,000 off of this credit card. I know it's gonna be 0% interest for 12 to 16 months. I'm gonna use this money to invest it into a cash flowing asset now. I can go to bizbuysell.com where you can buy your actual cash flowing business, right? You put down a deposit, you put down 30% of what they're asking. You'll be able to purchase a business and you'll have a cash flowing asset. Usually on the site, they'll tell you how much, the business is netting at the end of the year after taxes. So you can kind of do your math. You can ask for profit and loss sheets. You can ask for tax returns for proof that the income is actually being brought in for the business. And I'm using the bank's money now, OPM, other people's money. Instead of using money from my own pocket, I'm gonna leverage the bank's $50,000, still have my $10,000 for myself just in case, right? I'm gonna use the $50,000 from the bank. I'm gonna purchase a cash flowing business and I now have a cash flowing asset every month that I'm going to be able to profit from. Or If not, I'm gonna take my $50,000. I'm gonna go start my own business. Maybe I want to get into the Airbnb space. I might go and get 3 Airbnbs, furnish them. I have a 0% interest card. As my Airbnb starts a profit every single month, I'm gonna take a percentage to pay back the $50,000 card that I got from Chase, and the rest I'll profit for myself. Now I have cash flowing assets with my Airbnbs, right? I'm paying down the amount that I'm borrowing. Once I pay back the total amount that I borrowed from that Chase card, I'm left with 3 Airbnbs that are cash flowing me every single month. So that just goes to show, right? I didn't even use my $10,000. The only thing I used it for was to get myself a pledge loan from Navy Federal, which was returned into my account, right? Other than that, I did nothing else but build my credit. That just goes to show you how powerful credit is, right? With credit, you get to leverage a score, a credit report, in order to get yourself access to money that you can borrow against to get assets and then pay back later. That's what people don't really understand. So if I only had $10,000, or if I'm saving up and I'm about to hit my $10,000 mark, you don't have to use that $10,000 to invest into a business. Why? You're going to be emotional about the decisions that you make. You know, that's your only $10,000. You won't think logically. And then on top of that, it's a risk. If the business doesn't profit, I just wasted all of that I have no money now. Instead, let me take a risk. Let me go get my LLC. Let me leverage the money that I can get from the bank into a business. Let's see how the business goes. 9 times out of 10, if you're investing money, you want to make sure you're investing into something that's profitable. Right now, I have a cash flowing asset that I use no money for. I use the bank's money, and I'm making money every single month. I pay back the credit card. I'm left with assets, right? So it's really just on the way that you think. Some people say $10,000 isn't a lot of money, and it's not. But if you can use that to go and get $50,000 from the bank, $100,000 from the bank, you know, you're good to go. And then what I'll do is, on top of that, once that 0% interest rate runs out, I'm gonna go to Citizens Bank. I'll get another $50,000, and I'm gonna wash, rinse, and repeat the same exact process. Maybe I'll go get myself 3 more Airbnbs, and I go from having 3 cash flowing assets to now having 6. Or I'll go to bizbuysell.com and I'll go get another business. I'll put a down payment on whatever the case is, whatever makes the most sense for me at the time that I think is gonna make me enough money, right? So that's just a different way of thinking. People don't think about it like that. People say, oh, you know, $5,000 isn't a lot of money. $10,000 isn't a lot of money, and it's not. But if you know different ways to leverage it where you can get a cash flowing asset, it's a lot of money when you look at later down the line, right? So, you know, block the outside noise. People are gonna tell you, you know, you don't have enough money to go and get Airbnbs. You don't have enough money to go and buy a business. You don't have enough money to start a car rental business, whatever it is, right? As long as you have good credit, you can leverage that to do whatever it is that you want, right? It's all about being strategic and being smart with the moves that you're making.